April is Financial Literacy Month, so what better time to introduce you to a program that offers free financial literacy workshops to high school students across New York City. Now, the philosophy behind Sensibility is to empower these students and teach them how being able to manage their financial resources can help them achieve their future goals. With us today is Roy Paul, the Executive Director of Sensibility, and David Brooks, a Sensibility volunteer and mentor. Thank you both for being here. So nice to see you again, Roy.
Absolutely.
Tell me, what is it about this organization? You've been with Sensibility 10 months, and you believe in the mission here. Why is that so important, do you think?
Sure. Well, at the heart of our mission is the understanding that there is economic inequality in our country. And that is devastating not just for African Americans, but for people across the stratosphere who aren't wealthy. And we know that the system is stacked up against those who don't have a lot of wealth. And so what we try to do is level out the playing field. So we go into high schools and middle schools across the New York metropolitan area, and we give the students the tools that they need to be financially literate.
And do you focus primarily on students of color, or are you just any student that says, look, I want these tools, I need this help? They're welcome.
Right. So we give it to everyone for free. We connect with providers, schools, nonprofits, and they tell us when they want us to come, how often they want us to come, and we send people like David Brooks out there, and he's been doing this for 13 years, which is hard to believe because he looks only 30, but he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, both of you look like children. No offense intended. But David, why is this something that you've stuck with for 13 years?
Because I believe in the program, and I think it was something I wish I had when I was 16 and 17 working and received my first credit card at 18 and didn't know anything about credit scores.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that madness.
So,
I remember getting them in the mail in college and thinking it was free money.
Yeah. And the generation gap between me and the students that I'm dealing with, when I was 16, we had co-op programs where you worked after school, and if the jobs like you, they kept you during the summer. So you learned how to build up a work ethics. I don't think that's happening now. A lot of my young students, I say, how do you get money? Do you know allowances? And they look at me like, what's allowance? Mommy just gives me money. And I say, you don't work for it? And so, but with me, it was just a joy to do it. And I think I also was somewhat a little bit, I would say, had preconceived notions about the generation that I was entering into, but they're just a ball to work with,
and interested
in working. And I have my pulse on the youth today, and they keep me informed of what's happening with social media and stuff like that. But it is a joy to do it.
You said you learned a few things
I've
too
learned
as
a few
well.
things.
So you've been following your own lessons?
I've been following my own lessons, and I have also passed it on to family members, and it's like I said, it's just something that I think it should be taught, and it's across the board. I can be down in Battery Park and have students whose parents are judges and lawyers. I can go up to the Bronx, and there's a whole different ball game with people just familiar with Dave Check Cashing Place.
So you have to. So let's talk about some of the specific things that you teach young people. Roy, start with you. I understand it's an 8-week program for the most part. And where do you start, and what are you teaching them?
We give the site the flexibility to tell us how many lessons they want. So we start off with the basics, intro to goal setting. Then we go into budgeting, savings, banking, credit. And then we talk into some more, I would say, heavier topics, stocks, investments, 401k planning, planning for college, etc. And what we hope is that collectively, the knowledge that these young people give them the tools they need to succeed. So we talk about 50-30-20 when it comes to budgeting, making sure that you take 20% and save it, right? Save early, and there's never too late to start doing that. And they start to walk away with these principles, and they say, wait a second, I can save 20% of my check, and I shouldn't touch it, right? I can invest in the stock market. There are so many preconceived notions that the students come away with, thinking that only rich people invest in the stock market, right? Wait, you can have a job and have a 401k plan and you never see the money, it just goes somewhere else, and that is something that I can have for retirement. And so we're really introducing some critical topics to them that for the first time they're being introduced to them.
And do you think that's one of the failings, particularly in the homes of some kids of color, that they're not really being taught even the basics at home about the importance of saving?
Sure.
About look, you may not know it all, but at least you know to talk to your kid about the fact that money doesn't grow on trees, and if you want something, you got to put a dime, a nickel, a quarter aside if all you're getting every week is 50 cents. Is that conversation not being had enough?
It's all about
in enough
sharing
homes
information,
now?
and I don't think so, because even I talk about saving bonds. The kids look at me like, what is a saving bond? So I bring some of my old saving bonds, and I said, you don't have grandparents who may have saving bonds at home, or parents? Ask them. They may have some in a drawer somewhere. I also say, what happened if mother and your father or your guardian, because we also deal with foster care children sometimes, and I say, you have to be careful about your wording. Not everyone has a father and mother in the house, so you have to say guardian or grandparents. And so I say, what happened if they had to take a trip tomorrow somewhere? Would you know where to pay the cable bill, the rent? And so I tell them that too. I try to throw little life lessons in between.
So it's practical information.
I try to get practical information as well.
Yeah. And is that rewarding when you finish, you get them to walk out of the course and you see the light bulb go on, and by the time they walk out, they actually really do sort of have a rough plan for how they're going to move forward?
Well, a week ago we had a field trip with some of the students, and we brought them to Societe Generale, which is our parent sponsor, and we were talking to them about budgeting and saving. And one of the kids sent me an email afterwards when they left through the teacher, and I got a whole list of thank you notes from the students, and it was, thank you, now I know how to create a budget, right? Thank you, now I know that I should be saving for retirement. And that's when we're really having an impact on these students, because they're walking away, and no matter where they go in their lives and in their careers, they will always remember those lessons of saving, for retirement and etc. And that's when we're really getting to the
even
the
if they don't
students.
always follow them.
Exactly.
They've got that foundation.
If you plant that seed,
Exactly.
it's going to blossom.
So where can people find Sensibility? If we go to senseability.org, sense-ability.org, there's information about the program there. But if I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'd love for my kid to get some of this knowledge, what do you need to do?
Sure. So it's all on the website. We have a resources tab, and we've got calculators there. So if you're thinking about buying a home and you want to know how much the mortgage would be, you can go to our website. We've got nifty tools there that will help you figure out what the numbers mean.
And what if you wanted to bring have you teach their kids? How does that work?
So we connect directly with their school or a
schools.
nonprofit that they work at. And so we need all the leads that we can get. So if you have access to the local YMCA or to the local middle or high school, please let us know and make the connection, and we'll follow it up.
All right. So nice to talk to both of you. And look, I think I'm okay these days. But you never know. I may be working till I'm 100. Nice to see you both again.
Thank you very much.
Sensibility.org.